Right, so the deep blue in it? It's a place full of wonders and mysteries that have fascinated humans for centuries. From the tiniest plankton to the largest whales, the ocean is teeming with life that we are only just beginning to understand. Full of mysteries like, what's for tea? But seriously, one of the most intriguing creatures down there is the lobster. These fascinating crustaceans have been the subject of many myths and legends over the years, but one of the biggest head-scratchers is the lobster. People have long believed that lobsters are immortal, that they can live forever if left undisturbed. This idea has captured the imagination of many. But is it really true? These armored prawns, right, have got everyone thinking they live forever. Forever! Imagine! The idea of an immortal creature living in the depths of the ocean is certainly captivating. But let's take a closer look at the facts. While that's a cracking good story, the truth about how long lobsters live and how they kick the bucket is a bit more complicated. Lobsters do have some unique characteristics that contribute to their longevity, but they are not truly immortal. So in this video we're gonna dive deep, get it? Dive deep into the science of this myth. We'll explore the biology of lobsters, their growth patterns, and the factors that contribute to their long lives. We'll look at how lobsters work, how long they actually live, and bust the myth of them living forever. By understanding the science behind these creatures, we can separate fact from fiction and appreciate the true wonders of the lobster. Come along with us as we explore the ocean and find out the truth about these amazing creatures. We'll uncover the secrets of their longevity and learn why they have become such a fascinating subject of study. First question, why do these fellas live so long anyway? What is it about their biology that allows them to outlive many other marine creatures? The answer is all about how they grow, something called indeterminate growth. This means that lobsters continue to grow throughout their lives, unlike most animals that stop growing once they reach adulthood. See, unlike us, who stop growing taller when we're grown up, lobsters keep growing their whole lives. This continuous growth is a key factor in their longevity, as it allows them to regenerate and repair their bodies over time. This is super important to understand why they live so long, and why people think they don't die at all. By shedding their exoskeletons and growing new ones, lobsters can avoid many of the aging processes that affect other animals. Picture this, a creature that never stops growing. That's our lobster mate. Lobsters are fascinating creatures of the sea, known for their resilience and unique growth process. Unlike most animals, lobsters continue to grow throughout their entire lives. This continuous growth is a remarkable adaptation that allows them to thrive in their underwater world. But their shell, that hard bit on the outside, causes a bit of a problem. The exoskeleton, while providing protection, doesn't grow with the lobster. This means that as the lobster gets bigger, its shell becomes increasingly restrictive. As the lobster gets bigger, its shell becomes too small, like trying to squeeze into your school uniform after the summer holes. Imagine trying to fit into shoes that are 2 sizes too small. It's uncomfortable and impractical. For lobsters, this means they need to find a solution to continue their growth. So what do? They shed their shell, like a snake shedding its skin. This is called molting. Molting is a complex and energy-intensive process that allows the lobster to discard its old restrictive shell and form a new larger one. They ditch the old tight shell and grow a new bigger one. Pretty clever, eh? This new shell is initially soft and pliable, allowing the lobster to expand and grow before it hardens. This means they can keep growing and growing. The cycle of molting and growth continues throughout the lobster's life, enabling it to reach impressive sizes. But imagine the energy that takes. Molting is not just a physical challenge, but also a significant drain on the lobster's energy reserves. After molting, lobsters often need to rest and recover. Molting is tough work, and it leaves the lobster a bit vulnerable, like a crab without its claws. During this period, lobsters are at their most vulnerable, as their new shell is still soft and offers little protection. Their new shell is soft, so they're easy pickings for predators. Until the new shell hardens, lobsters must find safe hiding spots to avoid becoming a meal for other sea creatures. And the bigger they get, the more energy molting takes and the more dangerous it becomes. As lobsters grow larger, the molting process becomes increasingly risky, requiring more energy and exposing them to greater threats. Yet this incredible cycle of growth and renewal is what makes lobsters such fascinating and resilient creatures of the sea. So, what's the secret to a lobster's long life, and why do people think they're immortal? It's a fascinating question that has intrigued scientists and marine biologists for years. Lobsters have a unique biological mechanism that sets them apart from many other creatures. Unlike humans and most animals, lobsters don't show typical signs of aging. Part of the answer lies in a special enzyme called telomerase. This enzyme plays a crucial role in maintaining the health of our chromosomes. Telomerase acts like a magic potion that keeps our chromosomes healthy and functioning properly. It essentially helps in repairing and extending the life of our cells. Chromosomes are like tiny instruction manuals inside our cells, containing all the genetic information necessary for life. They have these protective caps on the ends called telomeres, which are kind of like the plastic bits on your shoelaces that prevent them from fraying. Every time a cell divides, these telomeres get shorter. Eventually, they become too short to protect the chromosomes, and the cell can no longer divide, leading to aging and cell death. This process is a fundamental reason why we age. As our cells lose their ability to divide, our bodies start to show signs of aging. But lobsters, right? They've got a trick up their sleeve. They have a unique ability to produce telomerase throughout their entire lives. Unlike humans who produce less telomerase as they age, lobsters keep making this enzyme, which continuously repairs and lengthens their telomeres. This constant production of telomerase keeps their telomeres nice and long so their cells don't age as quickly. It's like their biological clock is set to a much slower pace. Imagine if the tips of your shoelaces never wore out. That's essentially what happens with lobsters' telomeres, allowing them to maintain their cellular health for a much longer time. This remarkable ability is why lobsters can live for such a long time, and why some people even think they might be immortal. It's a fascinating glimpse into the wonders of marine biology and the secrets of longevity. Okay, so telomerase helps them live long, but lobsters aren't immortal. The idea that they live forever falls apart when you think about all the dangers they face. Predators, diseases, even molting can do them in. The ocean's a rough place, full of hungry mouths looking for a lobster dinner. Cod, seals, even other lobsters. And diseases can get them too, like shell rot. Plus, molting, the thing that lets them grow, gets riskier the older they get. The bigger they are, the harder it is to molt, and the more likely they are to get into trouble. So how long do lobsters actually live? Let's compare them to other animals. There's this jellyfish, the immortal jellyfish, that actually live forever. It can basically turn back into a baby and start its life all over again. Lobsters can't do that. They just keep getting older and bigger, facing all the problems that come with it. They live a long time, but not forever. Us humans, we're different again. We only make telomerase when we're really young. As we get older, our telomeres get shorter, and we age. It's just the way it goes. The idea of immortal lobsters is a good story, and it's easy to share on the internet, but it's important to know the difference between real science and made-up stuff. Lobsters live a long time because of how they're built, but they're not immortal. Scientists have proved that lobsters, like everything else, get old and die. They might have special telomerase, but it doesn't make them live forever. The lobster myth shows us how important it is to think critically and understand science. Don't believe everything you hear. Okay, so immortal lobsters might be a myth, but the dangers they face are real. Things we do, like overfishing, are having a big impact on lobster populations. Lobsters are important for the ocean, and if their numbers drop, it can cause problems for other creatures too. We need to protect them. Sustainable fishing, protecting their homes, and research are all important. We can all do our bit. Think about where your seafood comes from, support sustainable fishing, and tell people how important it is to protect the ocean. That way, we can make sure lobsters are around for a long time to come.